Without God, anything is permissible. Some people believe that. Some people believe that without the fear of divine total surveillance and supervision, everyone would do exactly as they wished, and we would all be wolves to each other. I think there's an enormous amount of evidence that that's not the case, that morality is innate in us, that solidarity is part of our self-interest in society as well as our own interest, and very much to argue the contrary, that when you see something otherwise surprising to you, such as a good person acting in a wicked manner, it's very often because they believe they're under divine orders to do so. Stephen Weinberg puts it very well. He says, left to themselves, evil people will do evil things and good people will try and do good things. If you want a good person to do a wicked thing, that takes religion. For example, I simply do not believe that my Palestinian friends, I've known for years, think that to blow yourself up outside an orphanage is a moral act, or inside one is a moral act, or in an old people's home in Netanya is a moral action, that anything in their nature makes them think this. But their mullahs tell them that it is, and that the person doing this is a hero. I do not think that any person looking at a newborn baby would think, how wonderful, what a gift, but now just let's start sawing away at its genitalia with a sharp stone. Who would give them that idea if not the godly? And what kind of argument from design is this? Babies are not born beautiful, they're born ugly, they need to be sawn a bit.
There's this idea in science that science can help us get what we value, but it can never tell us what we ought to value. And that's something that I'm challenging in this book. Well, when I think about questions of right and wrong and good and evil in universal terms, I think in terms of a moral landscape where the peaks correspond to the heights of human happiness and the valleys correspond to the lowest steps of misery. When you ask the question, how can we move upwards on this landscape, both personally and collectively? Clearly there are right and wrong answers to that question, and these are answers because human well-being emerges out of our biology and out of our sociology and out of the way the universe is altogether. These are answers which in principle science can discover.
The right way, not breaking the law and being good and kind and loving to people, I'm going to have a better life. I'm not going to go steal or murder. I'm going to have a better life.
I think those values probably generally do lead to a better life, but I don't think that religion or the belief in a heaven or hell are required to have those values in life.
Well, that's your opinion.
No,
okay?
it's a fact.
No, that's your opinion.
No, it's a fact, and here's why. People do live those lives without those religious beliefs. I do. I live a good life, a law-abiding life, a life filled with love and everything else. You do not. Religion is not required, and a belief in heaven and hell is not required.
That's your opinion.
You're done. You're done. Sorry, Johnny. You are proof of exactly what I was talking about. You are entitled to believe there is a heaven and hell. I would not dispute that at all. You are entitled to believe that I'm going to hell. And if in fact you do, then you are immoral. You have bought, in my opinion, you are immoral. You have bought into an immoral philosophy. You are entitled to live your life that way. But when you say that the only way for somebody to live a quality life is if they believe in an eventual heaven and hell, you are wrong. That is not true. That is a lie. That is the myth that is portrayed by people who are trying to promote Christianity, that you cannot be moral and good without God, that you cannot have a happy and pleasant life without God. It is utterly and completely false, as I am evidence of, and as many of my friends are evidence of. Yeah. I'm sorry that you drank the Kool-Aid. Some of us didn't want to.
And for instance, there are 21 states in our country where corporal punishment in the classroom is legal, where it is legal for a teacher to beat a child with a wooden board hard, raising large bruises and blisters and even breaking the skin. And hundreds of thousands of children, incidentally, are subjected to this every year. The locations of these enlightened districts, I think, will fail to surprise you. We're not talking about Connecticut. And the rationale for this behavior is explicitly religious. The creator of the universe himself has told us not to spare the rod lest we spoil the child. This is in Proverbs 13 and 20 and I believe 23. Who are we to say that the proud denizens of an ancient culture are wrong to force their wives and daughters to live in cloth bags? I mean, who are we to say even that they're wrong to beat them with lengths of steel cable or throw battery acid in their faces if they decline the privilege of being smothered in this way? Okay, well, who are we not to say this? Who are we to pretend that we know so little about human well-being that we have to be non-judgmental about a practice like this? I'm not talking about voluntary wearing of a veil. I mean, women should be able to wear whatever they want as far as I'm concerned. But what does voluntary mean in a community where when a girl gets raped, her father's first impulse, rather often, is to murder her out of shame? Just let that fact detonate in your brain for a minute. Your daughter gets raped, and what you want to do is kill her. What are the chances that represents a peak of human flourishing?